These two squares are the same exact color, it's the same hex code, same swatch, and the same value. If you put it against a light background, it looks darker. And then when you put it against a dark background, it suddenly looks brighter. And that's why your brand colors can look perfect in the design file, but wrong on the website, packaging, social media, and everything that you do. So if this is the case, the color might not be the problem, the background might be. So in this video, I'm going to show you why one color can have two faces and why designers never approve a color on its own. So the same color can genuinely look different depending on what's around it. And perception is everything with color, so make sure that you get this right. So let's get into it. So principle number one is a color is never alone. The same swatch has two grounds and two colors. So a color is almost never seen as it physically is. And one identical swatch on a light background versus a dark background would never look the same. You never choose a color, you choose a color and its neighbor. And when you do this properly, it can have a massive effect on how the brand is perceived and how it looks. So you can see in these three examples, one is identical swatches using the same shade and same hex code of the square, right? You got the same identical swatches. They don't look alike. They actually look different in both, if it's darker or it's light. And then on the right, you have the warm versus cool. Because it's the same hex code on the square, it doesn't mean it looks exactly the same because of what's around it. And background usually makes a massive difference. So in these two examples, it even creates the illusion that the colors are different because of what's around it. So having the same color doesn't mean it will look exactly the same at the foreground if the background looks darker or lighter. So make sure you do this right. So usually the ground does the work and the color borrows the opposite of its surrounding. And a swatch on a white looks darker and same swatch on a black looks lighter. And the swatch surrounding pushes your perception forward towards the opposite. So when your accent looks wrong, the culprit is often the background and not the accent. So often enough, it's not the color at the front, it's actually the background. So changing the background would make a massive difference. So if the accent looks off, the shape at the front, check the background first and get this right. Because most often, if you change the background color to a higher contrast, this will solve your problem. So the brand colors, you need to pick a pair. Pick them as a pair. So the brand colors only matter in context. So a hex code tells you nothing about a color and how it feels in use. So the same brand red is urgent on a charcoal and friendly on cream. So approve the pairing first. So make sure they pair with the background color well. Because that makes all the difference in how it's perceived. So approve the pairing first before just choosing one hex code because they work well together. So principle number 4 is to test this on a real ground. So make sure that the background color is the right choice for the foreground. So never sign it off as a neutral gray. You need to first test every color in the background against the pairing. Approve every color on the surface it will live on. So you need to look at them as a pair and see how it looks against each other. On the right, here you can see how it looks on the site, and then you can see how it looks on the pack, and then on the app. Make sure that the light background and the dark background works well together. So make sure these pairings work first so it keeps the brand consistent. If you want a color palette and a brand that behaves everywhere, just click the first link in the description. You can book a 30-minute consultation call with myself and I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. Thank you guys for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.